So this video was once shared by Donald Trump, by President Donald Trump, on I think January 7th or January, something like that, January 7th this year. So this is a video of Professor Jeffrey Sachs. So for those of you who don't know, Mr. Sachs, uh, or rather, I think Professor Sachs. So Professor Jeffrey Sachs is actually a renowned American economist and also an analyst on policy making. And he is a professor at Columbia University, where he was also the former director, like formerly he was the director of the Earth Institute. So he has some interesting point of views, and sometimes his point of views are a bit, I don't know how to say this, um, like they might sound like conspiracy theories, but this gentleman makes some excellent points. Jeffrey Sachs goes into more details about how Barack Obama commanded the CIA to overthrow the Syrian government and American media covered for them. He says reporters are lying through their teeth when they blame Russia. So let's just hear this out.
The war in Syria, and you may actually hear from grown-up reporters who are lying through their teeth or ignorant beyond imagining that, oh, the war in Syria, yes, Russia intervened in Syria. Well, do you know that that Obama tasked the CIA to overthrow the Syrian government starting 4 years before Russia intervened?
You know, everyone thinks that Obama is this clean-cut gentleman guy. Anyone who becomes an American president, that person is not a simple person. You know, not simple by nature, not simple in thoughts, not simple, in actions. So, and Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, he has probably bombed more countries than all of his other predecessors. But still, I mean, when you are the president of America, that's a huge responsibility, right?
What kind of nonsense is that? And how many times did the New York Times report on Operation Timber Sycamore, which was the presidential order to the CIA to overthrow Bashar al-Assad? 3 times in 10 years. This is not democracy. This is a game. And it's a game of narrative. Why did the U.S. invade Iraq in 2003? Well, first of all, it was completely phony pretenses. It wasn't, oh, we were so wrong, they didn't have weapons of mass destruction. They actually did focus groups.
See, it's all about creating a narrative, I think. You know, the whole WND thing that, oh, Iraq has WNDs, so let's go and overthrow the regime. They didn't find any WNDs. Now, this time around, they're saying the same thing about Iran, that Iran is like a week away from making nuclear weapons, a week away. How many weeks did we hear that? That, oh, they are just 2 weeks away from a nuke. They have enough material for 10 nuclear weapons. Yeah, none of that ever happened, right?
In the fall of 2002 to find out what would sell that war to the American people. Abe Schultzke, if you want to know the name of the PR genius. They did focus groups on the war. They wanted the war all the time. They had to figure out how to sell the war to the American people.
Obviously, they wanted war because war is, other than culture and movies and music and entertainment, war is America's biggest export. So without war, American society can never thrive. Because where will you get the money from? Where will the money come from? So you need war. Americans need war. We don't.
How to scare the shit out of the American people. It was a phony war. Where did that war come from? You know what? It's quite surprising. That war came from Netanyahu, actually. You know that? It's weird. And
I have no reason not to believe that. Because the Israeli regime, they have been trying to, and not just Netanyahu's government, but for a while, uh, they have been trying to destabilize Syria, because there was a lot of trouble going on in Syria even before, you know, ISIS and everything. In fact, there are many people who claim that ISIS was probably created by Mossad and CIA. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but think about it. I mean, if you have so many mindless zombies who are hell-bent on killing other people based on their ideology, create, an organization and they will all be drawn into it. So that's what happened in the case of ISIS. It started pulling in all those crazed, you know, fighters. Fighters is the wrong word. They are actually zombies. So all those crazy zombies were pulled from across the Middle Eastern countries and even from European countries. Even from India, people went and joined ISIS, right? So yeah, you get them all in one place and bomb the hell out of them. So that's a good strategy, I would say.
The way it is that Netanyahu had from 1995 onward the theory that the only way we're going to get rid of Hamas and Hezbollah is by toppling the governments that support them. That's Iraq, Syria, and Iran. And the guy's nothing if not obsessive. And he's still trying to get us to fight Iran this day, this week. He's a deep, dark son of a bitch, sorry to tell you, because he's gotten us into endless wars, and because of the power of all of this in the U.S. politics, he's gotten his way. But that war was totally phony. So what is this democracy versus dictatorship? Come on, these are not even sensible terms.
About Netanyahu, they say that the whole pedophile ring that was uncovered, after Jeffrey Epstein, Elaine Maxwell, and all those people, it is said that they were connected to Mossad in some way. In fact, Ghislaine Maxwell's father was a Mossad agent. And maybe this whole Epstein scandal was just to get people, into compromising position and then make videos and take pictures of them and then manipulate them, blackmail them into doing what you want. I think maybe some of that worked out in favor of the Israelis, specifically because of Netanyahu. Because Netanyahu, we'll never forget that he was actually a Serat Matkal operator. In fact, his brother was also a Serat Matkal operator who I think passed away in the Uganda mission. I forgot what the name of that mission was. Just give me one second. Yes, Operation Entity. So there were Israeli hostages who were on an hijacked plane of Air France, 27th June 1976, and there were German and Palestinian freedom fighters, activists. So yes, Netanyahu's brother, Jonathan, as in Jonathan. So Jonathan Netanyahu was Bibi Netanyahu's brother. That's what there he is. So he's the only person who lost his life during this operation. These are very dangerous guys. And the thing with the Israelis is because, especially, not just Israelis, but rather Jews in general, I would say, uh, because they went through the genocide and the pogroms that happened during the World War II in Europe. I think people have always been a very, what's the word I'm looking for? See, please don't get me wrong. I have no personal enmity with anyone, and I'm just saying what I feel. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, but it is true that if you look at recent history, like in the last, 4 or 5 decades, ever since World War II, people, the Jewish people have sort of made everyone feel sympathetic towards them, which they definitely deserve after, all the horrible treatment meted out to them by the Nazis. But somehow that has also created a very radicalized mindset on the Jews, on the Israelis to be specific this time. Because you know how the Israelis say that not anymore, World War II, whatever happened, that's not going to repeat itself, that we are not going to let that happen. And to that end, they are ready to go to any lengths. And that's what Mossad does, right? And also look at where Israel is. I mean, Israel is such a small country, right? Look at where it's situated. Look at all its neighbors. You have Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and all of these countries actually attacked Israel in the past. So obviously they are in a really dangerous spot between a rock and a hard place. That's what's going on with the Israelis. See, I totally sympathize with the problems that Israelis have faced, but you can't keep using the World War II excuse every time you go and bomb some other country, right? Although this time around, whatever's happening in Iran, I mean, it's been quite a while that the pot had shimmering, even among the Iranian population, right? So who knows? Maybe there will be a regime change in Iran. But the thing is that this gentleman spares no words, right? He just gives you the raw truth. But like I said, this was actually shared by Donald Trump. Let me just find out the date when he shared it. I think it was sometime in January. Yeah, January 7th, 2025. Why did Trump share this? Is he trying to like give out a message, like a subtle messaging that America is not at fault here, the Israelis are just taking it too far? Who knows? Maybe, maybe.